In this lesson, we'll be solving multi-step inequalities. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to solve a linear inequality involving more than one operation and a linear inequality using distributive property. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between equations and inequalities. An equation has an equal sign, where an inequality has a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. An equation typically has just one answer. An inequality typically has many answers. An equation, when graphed on a number line, just has a dot. An inequality graphed on a number line has an arrow. An equation graphed on a coordinate plane is a straight line, and an inequality graphed on a coordinate plane has shading. Remember, with the equations and inequalities, whatever you do to one side, so if I subtract a blue one from this side, and I subtract a yellow from this side, I have to come over on the other side and subtract a blue one and a yellow one to keep that scale in balance. So like equations, when we solve an inequality, first thing we look for is that distributive property. Then we look and see if we have to combine like terms, same variable to the same power on the same side. And then we add or subtract so that we get variables on one side and constants on the other. And then we'll do our multiplication or division so we can isolate that variable and have a coefficient of 1. If we're using the inequality and we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to flip the inequality. So if it was greater than, now it's going to be less than. When we're graphing our inequalities, in equal sign we just had a dot. But in greater than, the circle is open and it's to the right. If it's less than, the circle is open to the left. If it's greater than or equal to, the circle is closed and to the right. And when it's less than or equal to, the circle is closed and to the left. So remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to reverse the inequality. If it was less than, you're going to change it to greater than. So let's do some examples. On this first one, we have like terms on the same side of the inequality. We have -6 and +7. So together, that equals +1x is greater than or equal to -4. That is going to be a closed circle because it's greater than or equal to. And it says greater than -4, so it's going to the right. In this one, we're going to divide by -3/4 on both sides. And dividing by -3/4 is the same as multiplying by -4/3. This becomes 1. And did you hear me say divide by negative? If we divide by negative, the inequality gets reversed, and this is -8. So again, my circle is closed, and my arrow is going left. On this one, we need to distribute. So 2 times t is 2t. 2 times -7 is -14, is less than or equal to 9. Add 14 to both sides, and we get 2t, this becomes 0, is less than or equal to 23. Divide both sides by 2, and we get t is less than or equal to 11.5. This one we have to write the inequality and then solve. So it says 3 times a number is more than, greater than, it does not say greater than or equal to, it says greater than, the difference between twice that number, so difference is a subtract, and 3. And now we just solve this. We're going to subtract 2n from both sides. I get n is greater than, that's 0, -3. And that's my answer. Nicholas wants to order a pizza, and he has a total of $13 to pay the delivery person. The pizza costs $7.50 plus $1.25 for topping. If he plans to add a 15% tip of the total cost, how many toppings can he order? Well, let's set that up as an equation. So I know I'm going to have to multiply my end result by 1.15 to get that 15% tip. My pizza is $7.50 plus $1.25 per ingredient, and I have $13. Only got $13, so it has to be less than or equal to $13. So we'll distribute. Well, we'll distribute. Sorry. So 8.625 plus 1.43775x is less than or equal to $13. Then I am going to subtract 8.625 from both sides. And that gets me 1.4375 is less than 4.375. Oops, forgot my x here. Now divide both sides by 1.4375. And I get x is less than or equal to 3.04. And that means that I can put 3 toppings or less on the pizza. So it says I can get 3.04, but I can't get 0.04 of a topping. These are write an inequality for each graph. So I'm going to start with my x, and I can see that this is less than, not less than or equal to, less than -1. This one, since the circle is filled in, it's greater than or equal to 2. No more than, the phrase no more than, is which inequality? No more than. No more than is less than or equal to. Is at least is what inequality? Greater than or equal to.